y'all introduce on the court. This is GT. Look, I just met a young fan right here who traveled over 852 miles in CCC. We gonna make sure you get this box checked off, all right? So y'all stay locked in, all right? Let's get it. I love it.
We're going on vacation to Las Vegas, and we are going to go see Caitlin Clark at the Indiana Fever against the Aces.
No way!
We already have tickets.
Really?
Really?
Thank you. Thank you.
Caitlin Clark, once in a lifetime opportunity.
Thank you, guys.
Other women in front of witnesses. Because they're excellent. Sports economist Ryan Brewer projected Clark's economic impact could reach $1 billion this season. That's not just basketball revenue. That's merchandising, tourism, television, deals, and everything else that comes with being a cultural phenomenon. Meanwhile, other players are still trying to figure out how to convert social media metrics into actual financial impact. The numbers in Brennan's book are devastating for the league's reputation. When Clark was healthy and playing, the Indiana Fever averaged 1.81 million viewers per game. The moment she went down with injury, viewership dropped to 847,000, a 53% decline that exposed how dependent the entire league had become on one player. Ticket prices for Fever games crashed from $137 to $80 without Clark. And even at discount prices, arenas looked empty. The book reveals that Indiana's home and road combined attendance set a new single-season league record with 643,343 fans over 40 games, more than 200,000, above the next highest team. The Fever set this record not because they had the best team, but because fans were traveling hundreds and sometimes thousands of miles specifically to see Clark play. Here in Iowa, we were the first to realize Caitlin's pull on fans. When do you think the WNBA fully realized what it had? Publicly, I'm not sure that they really have. They certainly know they have to. No, Keith, but in terms of the comments, in terms of the way the Commissioner Kathy Angelberg, who I've known and I like, the way she has trouble talking about Caitlin Clark, or if she's asked about Caitlin, she will say, well, Caitlin and Angel. Well, she wasn't asked about Angel, you. No, she was asked about Caitlin. Perhaps the most damaging chapter in Brennan's book deals with USA basketball's decision to exclude Clark from the 2024 Olympic team. The book reveals how this decision cost the league massive international exposure and viewership opportunities. When the U.S. women's basketball team won gold in Paris, the viewership was good, but well below what it would have been with Clark on the roster. The gold medal game against France drew 7.88 million viewers, the worst viewership for a U.S. women's basketball team gold medal game since 2008. Even the women's soccer gold medal match had higher viewership at 9.4 million. The Washington Post listed USA basketball's choice to not pick Clark as one of the very worst sports decisions of 2024. Dawn Staley, a member of the selection committee, later admitted on NBC that if they had to do it all over again, Clark would be in really high consideration of making the team because she is playing head and shoulders above a lot of people. This revelation in Brennan's book exposes how basketball minds completely missed how good Clark was and how much her presence would have elevated the entire Olympic experience. Apparently, the leadership in U.S. women's basketball was so worried about people's reactions to Clark's playing time, so concerned about critical posts on X and Facebook and the like, that they didn't want to deal with any of it. That is, honestly, it's not fair to her. Well, it isn't. I've covered the Olympics for a long time, actually since the '84 LA Games, and I've never seen a worse team selection decision ever. Here you've got this person who's not only playing great. At that point, her statistics were better than some of the players they did put on the Olympic team. The success of Brennan's book proves that Clark has become something the WNBA never expected, a cultural icon whose influence extends far beyond basketball. Clark arrived as a sports and cultural phenomenon more than 50 years after Title IX opened opportunities for women in sports. Her impact isn't just about basketball statistics. It's about fundamentally changing how Americans view female athletes. The book documents how Clark's appeal wasn't just domestic, but international, with fans buying her merchandise and traveling from around the world to watch her play. This global reach is exactly what makes the WNBA nervous, because it proves that Clark's brand is bigger than their league. When asked about the possibility of Clark starting her own league, Brennan responded, "Nike loves her. She's got Wilson. Obviously, she's got Gatorade, and they could do it. I think they could absolutely put it together in a couple of years." The book's revelation that Clark is making $40 million annually from endorsements, while earning just $76,000 from the WNBA, exposes the absurd economics of women's professional basketball. Clark doesn't need the WNBA. The WNBA needs Clark. And that power dynamic is making league officials uncomfortable. Left and started her own league because of the way she's been treated. Would that work? What do you think? It's interesting. I thought of that too. Nike loves her. Nike. She's got Wilson. Obviously, she's got Gatorade. Even though the salary is $76,000 for a rookie, it's more this year now. She's making what if she $28 million just from Nike alone, according to Wall Street. So she's at, $40 million or whatever. Okay. So, fine. So, she's doing great. And if Nike said, "We're going to make the Nike Clark League," right? It would take, obviously it takes a few years to get the arenas and whatever, but, the TV contract. It's Caitlin. The absolute panic spreading through the WNBA isn't just about one book becoming a bestseller. It's about the entire foundation of their marketing strategy being exposed as fraudulent. For decades, the league tried to build a sustainable product, and then Clark showed up and single-handedly became the difference between relevance and irrelevance. When your entire league's success hinges on one person's health, every injury becomes an existential crisis. The book exposes how the league's marketing department was completely unprepared for the Clark phenomenon. They had no comprehensive strategy for capitalizing on her popularity, no understanding of her demographic appeal, and no plan for sustaining the momentum she was generating. This is basic business strategy that any competent organization should have handled easily. Brennan's willingness to tell the story honestly is refreshing in a media environment where many reporters are afraid to criticize women's sports. She documents what actually happened rather than protecting feelings or maintaining politically correct narratives.